Now we are getting here to more of the history of the survival of the Jewish people through the Middle Ages. So we've tried to understand that the Jews, there's no reason the Jews should be around. The Jews were destroyed people, scattered people. But somehow we managed to maintain the center of our faith, which is our God. And we've managed to try to continue to come close to the source of all things when we're aware of what life has in it. But we have a Torah which is able to bring us through the middle of all the mess. So if I'm speaking, I'm warned not to drink tea because it clogs up my vocal cords, so I got back to water again. At any rate, all of that destruction left the land of Israel, our home, empty. We're trying to see how in the world we managed to survive in the middle of all this. Now here we come to this new idea. The Mongolian invasions of Palestine. But we're going to talk here about the Mongolian Empire. And you see that Jews were scattered in the east. The Edut Mizrahi. It goes like this. He says like this. There are inscriptions. Let me see. That's the wrong place. Where is number 1? Here. Prior to the Mongol invasions, there are records of thousands of Jews living in where? Afghanistan. Now, I happen to have had the privilege. It's a young married couple. My wife and I went across Asia, and we wound up in Kabul, Afghanistan. There are many people there that look like us, but then it's a Semitic look. So, nonetheless, there are customs that have been reported amongst the majority population in Afghanistan that reflect certain Jewish things. But they're all fanatical Muslims. But then again, it's Afghanistan. In the year 1260, now he's pointing right here at this place called Kaffa, which is apparently in the Crimea. In the year 1260, Genoese, those are Italian, merchants purchased the town. You have to be in the Middle East to understand how that's possible, that they purchase a town, making it a vibrant commercial republic. Many Jewish merchants and rabbis settled in Crimea. Okay? Number 3. Over here in this place, which I think he calls it Piruzuku, which is down at the bottom of the Caspian Sea, which is near what would be today Iran. Tombstones from the 13th century, it's the 1200s, with Judeo-Persian inscriptions found here. Number 4, inscriptions. The circa near the 14th century are found here in Kabul, Afghanistan, which is one of the real. You can get used to smells. When things smell bad, you can get used to it. That's Kabul, Afghanistan. Now, the land is empty. The Jewish land is empty. The Mongolian invasions of Palestine. And up here in the top we were looking at, this is the entire extent of the Mongol Empire. They controlled all of that empty land, that land. Even India. So let's see how this would go. He says here, just looking at the map first, this is the land of Israel. The Druze are located in this area. Here's Tzfat, where I have a house, which we don't see too much right now, that's for sure. And here, some other places. This is 1260, the year 1260. He says this is the extent of the Mongol expansion, which is Gaza. They went all the way down into Gaza. Number 2, September 1260, the Mameluks defeat the Mongols. The Mameluks take over. Number 3, In the year 1299, with the arrival of Mongols, Druses revolt against the Mameluks. So more back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Number 4. The years 1300, 1303, the Mamelukes recapture the country and expel the Mongols. Number 5. 1401, the year 1401, Timur captures the city. Which city? That's Damascus, and burns it down. This is our Levant. This is Eretz Yisrael. And these are the extent of the journeys of the horsemen, the Mongols. The Mongol invasion of Europe and the Middle East from the end of the 12th century brought radical changes to those areas. Nations were destroyed and whole populations annihilated. The world was engulfed by a powerful wave of conquest, the like of which it had never known before. Before the death of Genghis Khan, which was in 1227, the Mongols had reached the Dnieper River in Europe, and in 1421 they crossed the Oder River, annihilating a German and Polish army in a battle near Liegnitz. In 1258, the Mongols, led by Ilkhan, I can't pronounce it, Hulagu, sounds like a very Turkish type of name, conquered Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia is Babylon. Mesopotamia is part of Persia, part Iraq. Basically Iraq and Syria, from which they proceeded to Palestine, reaching Gaza in 1260. So here you are in the upper map, moving through this area right here. They're all moving in this direction towards the ocean. This is the Tigris-Euphrates area today, Iraq and Syria. So he says, let's see, Palestine reached Gaza in September 1260 at the Battle of Ein Harod, it's also called, in the valley of Jezreel. They were decisively defeated by the Baibars and the Mamaluk army, thus ensuring Mamaluk rule over Palestine. In 1299, under the leadership of Ilkhan Ghazan, they launched an invasion with the aid of an Armenian army and Druses from Lebanon. At the end of the 14th century, the Tartar prince Timur revived the Mongol Empire, and in 1401 conquered and set fire to Damascus. Palestine surrendered without battle, accepting the Tartar yoke until the death of Timur in 1405. The Mongol campaigns directed against Muslims in the East, as well as their expansion in Europe, caused great dread both in the East and in the West. The Muslims in the East were the chief victims of those campaigns, although in the course of events, the Mongols became closer to Islam, some even converting. The Jewish communities were saved in a number of places, including Baghdad in 1258, Aleppo, which is Syria, in 1260. Jews found asylum in the central synagogue, which was left untouched in Damascus. The Mongol invasions aroused messianic hopes for an imminent redemption among the Jews of Italy and Spain. Some believed the Mongols to be descendants of the 10 tribes. In Christian Europe, some Jewish communities were suspected of contact with the Mongols and accused of being associated with their invasions and devastations. The Jewish communities in Silesia and Germany suffered from the Mongol advance westward. That's the story for today. The land is empty. The land is conquered like all the other lands. It becomes just like the rest of the desert around it. This is Baruch Fleischman, and you've been listening to the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. So this is Baruch Fleischman with the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. And once again, we're bringing to you the work of a great... Wait a minute.